And for your top story this hour, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi declared that his country is not intimidated by the US military presence in the Gulf. Araghchi's remarks came 2 days after talks with US envoy Steve Witkoff, who visited the USS Abraham Lincoln in the region. Iran's foreign minister also reaffirmed that Iran will never relinquish its right to enrich uranium despite pressure from Washington. He stressed that Iran has already paid a heavy price for its peaceful nuclear program and will not allow anyone to dictate its actions. Araghchi's statements underscore Iran's firm stance on its nuclear ambitions, even amidst escalating tensions. We are now being joined by Professor Ephraim Inbar, who's a senior researcher at the Jerusalem Institute for Strategy and Security, joining us from Jerusalem. Thank you so much for joining us here today on NewsX World. Why does Iran insist on continuing uranium enrichment despite intense US military pressure and threats of conflict?
I think that the Iranian regime believes that producing a nuclear bomb will be a deterrent against a potential American invasion of Iran and regime change. This is something very important to them, and therefore they will try to continue their nuclear program despite American and Israeli opposition and real military action to prevent it.
And how credible are Iran's claims that its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes, and how does that affect international trust in negotiations?
I don't think that nobody believes the Iranians. Iranians are not trustworthy. They proved once and again that they are cheating on their agreements. They made the agreements they made with the United States or with the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna. And there is no way to believe that they are sincere, even if they sign a document.
And can diplomacy succeed if Tehran refuses to consider halting enrichment and the US makes that central condition for a deal?
Well, it depends how you measure success. If success means that the Iranians will sign on some kind of document, this is possible. But I think nobody should have any illusion that even if they sign on a document, they intend to keep their commitments. Therefore, the only way to prevent Iran from becoming nuclear is military action.
Can diplomacy succeed if Tehran, including military positioning and the risks that could be escalating from all of these public statements, what do these pose for regional stability in the Middle East?
Again, it depends what you mean by regional stability. A nuclear Iran is not equals regional stability. So I think that, again, unfortunately, and I understand the reluctance to use force against Iran, but this regime is not trustworthy, and it is very aggressive. It has threatened Israel with extinction. It has proxies that are using force in conquering countries like Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen. Those are proxies of Iran in which militias that are conquering those countries. And therefore, stability, in my view at least, is prevention of a nuclear Iran and the demise of this very aggressive and revisionist regime.
And as we're hearing and seeing more of a military build-up from America going into, do you think there could be a chance of a strike happening, or do you think this is more of a intimidation tactic?
It seems that President Trump decided to try the diplomatic course. I'm not sure that it will be successful, and I don't know what happens in the mind of President Trump, but it's clear that all this demonstration of force, if it ends with an agreement that supports the continuation of this regime, it will be seen as an American failure, and therefore the chances are that the Americans will not be satisfied with such a result and subsequently attack Iran.
And how should global institutions and regional actors like, for example, the UN, EU, Gulf states engage when the US and Iran are at such odds over enrichment?
I think they will sit idle. After all, they don't want a too strong Iran. I understand their fears of escalation. Some of those countries could be hit by Iranian missiles. But in the long run, the destruction of the Ayatollah regime in Iran is also their interest.
Thank you so much for joining us here on NewsX.